putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Just so we're clear, I don't give a crap about polls. You guys know this about me. It's Kevin Jackson Show, KJRadio.com, 844-551-8255. I don't care about polls. In terms of the raw numbers, I care about polls and the trending. That's the real key of what we're looking at here when we start talking about polls. And I just told you they are tracking the Donald Trump and the polling that's come from was he surveilled or not. Rasmussen came out with a poll, and 87% of Republicans said he was surveilled. 55% of independents said he was surveilled. But the bigger number, not in terms of quantity, the number that's going to be most shocking to you is the number I'm about to give you. So I'm glad you guys are here. 31% of Democrats believe that Donald Trump was surveilled by Barack Obama. That means 31% of Democrats see that Barack Obama did something illegal to Donald Trump. Now, as you consider all these other polls that are out there regarding what Trump, his popularity, do they believe in his policies and things like this, let me just explain to you. 31% of Democrats believe Donald Trump was cheated in the election, which means 31% of Democrats probably will look at Donald Trump in the next election or look at the Republican Party. If you want to know how Donald Trump has solidified the Republican Party, I'm giving you the reason. People now see Donald Trump as truthful. They're going to go back and reevaluate everything that's been said about Trump. He's a womanizer. He's sleeping with prostitutes. He's doing all these other things. And they're going to go, wow, I used to believe the media. I talked earlier. Donald Trump made the media what it really is, we should have been calling it for decades. Fake, fabricated news. Talking points of the Democrats, the leftism that has occurred in America. He brought that out. People thought he's lying. He just doesn't want to face the music. And now what do they think? It's synonymous. Read an article. It will say fake news. CNN, fake news. MSNBC, fake news. ABC, fake news. What you're going to watch, let me just tell you real quickly what's going to happen with the media. They're going to be fighting not to be considered fake news. Can you imagine that when that war begins to occur? When the media goes, look, we don't want to be considered fake news. We got to do something about this. Wait till that happens. It's coming. I watched Nora something. I forget her name, but she's on ABC or CBS or whatever. I watched her call that Michael Wolff guy, hold him to task over his book. And it was refreshing to see her say, I don't know that I believe this anymore. It was a Jerry Springer moment, but not with all the salaciousness. And Wolff was squirming. And he's gone. That's what these people were using. Keep in mind, the Democrats are using, Donald Trump, he's crazy in the White House, and he's doing this, and he's hated. He's universally hated. And they were telling you all of his staffers thought he was stupid and all these other things. In a year that we just came off of that was the best year in politics in the modern era, maybe outside of the forming of the country. That's what we were dealing with. 31% of Democrats. I want you to think about that number. But here's what, and I'm going to get to some other stuff about it, and I don't want to run out of time. So 54% of respondents said yes when they were asked if a special counsel was needed. 44% said no. Now, these are daily tracking polls of Rasmussen. I don't know what they were before, but 54% of people now say we need a special counsel versus 44%. Now, that's big numbers in politics. If you beat somebody 54 to 44, game over, right? Wait till you see these numbers next week. Wait till you see them the week after that. Folks, you're watching a monumental shift. You're watching a glacier move, and you can see it. Glacial movement is like an inch or two a day, right? I mean, just try to sit there and watch it go, I think it moved. Yeah. You can hear the crackling, but you can't see it. You're watching a glacier move. You're watching a glacier move like the tide. That's what you're into. I told you guys, shock. That's what the theme of today's show is, shock. And the Democrats are in future shock. They have so much going on, they can't figure out which direction it's going to come from. And you want to know why that is? It's because they've told so many lies. Let me go on here. Bad news for Democrats. Public opinion shifting towards Donald Trump. I'll ask you this question. A year ago, when Trump said this was happening, or whatever amount of time it was, year and a few months ago, whatever it was, do you believe 54% of the people would have called for a special counsel and 44% no? He would have been lucky to get 30% of the people calling for a special counsel a year ago. Now it's a plurality, 54%. Now, here's the next one. 35% of respondents said they believe that high-ranking DOJ officials attempted to outright frame Trump for alleged collusion with Russia. But here's what I'll tell you about that number. That 35% who believe the DOJ officials were in it, that number is going to leap like a little fairy. It's going to leap like a ballerina, baby, because the more we learn, the worse it gets for the DOJ and the FBI. Now, as you listen to these poll numbers, 87% of Republicans say Trump was colluded against. 55% of independents say Trump was colluded against. 31% of Democrats say Trump was colluded against. 54% say they want a special counsel. 35% believe DOJ was attempted to collude. That's all skewed towards the Democrats. So we don't know what the real numbers even are. But there are similar results in other polls. So let me get to those. There was a Rasmussen poll that was released last week. It said 50% of likely voters believe it's at least somewhat likely that senior federal law enforcement officials broke the law in an effort to prevent Donald Trump from becoming presidency. Of the 50%, 32% said it is very likely. So that goes in line with the 35% who say the DOJ had something colluded with Trump. So let's just use those and say, okay, 32 to 35% is the number. Now, in this Rasmussen poll that I believe will eventually flip-flop, 42% of likely voters believe Russia meddled in the 2016 presidential election. 34% said the FBI meddled. I believe you're going to watch those numbers flip. You're going to watch the FBI number go up. You're going to watch the Russian number go down. That's what I predict. Now, what these polls show is what President Trump's State of the Union poll numbers showed. The public sentiment is shifting towards Trump. And the reason for this is the Democrats no longer have the bully pulpit. Danger looms for them, and the Democrats know it. And the level of desperation, the level of shock and awe that's been put into the Democratic Party under the Trump administration is palpable. You can see it in everything that they do. Schiff, I swear he looks like a Pekingese with those eyes bulging. Every time you see an interview with this dude, man, I feel like he's so stressed out his eyes might just pop out during the interview. But it's fun to watch. And what's interesting to me is this. The Democrats try to come off as, oh, we're good, we're all good. And I find the stories about their potential Democrat candidates in 2020 with names like Eric Holder being mentioned. I tell you what, Democrats, if you think Eric Holder will ever be president, I tell you, why don't you let Loretta Lynch in there? Why don't you bring back Susan Rice or Valerie Jarrett or even a reprise of Bill Clinton, or let Hillary run again? Let me tell you, with the level of certainty I've rarely had in many things in life, I guarantee you that in 2020, save death, Donald Trump will be reelected in a landslide. It's not even going to be close. The idea that these people line them up, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, the retreads, Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren, Bernie Sanders, who still believes he's viable. Bring them all. This is a tainted party. 2018 is going to be a bloodbath. 2020 is going to be even worse. Weekly, folks, Democrats fight scandals of their own creation, and their attempts to put the blame on others is what is their undoing, and they don't get it. But wait for it. The Democrats at some point this year will finally have to admit their sins. I know you're going, Kevin, you're full of it. There's no way it's going to happen. Things are going to get so bad for the Democrats. You heard it here. They are going to do a mea culpa and apologize to the American public.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.